Uh, let's see. Wanted to say real quick that just watched your video, and I have to say, uh, uh, you have made a good point. Um, we, I would say, I don't think we're losing believers to atheism. Um, the idea of losing believers, you take several things into account. Were they really believers in the first place, for one? You could say that, because some of them may have been attending church, and don't really know as to whether or not they believe. Um, I'm not sure as to whether or not you were talking about people leaving the church or organized religion because they didn't believe, or because they just didn't like the idea of organized religion. Um, Also, too, yeah, I gotta say, with this idea of bringing up new arguments and bringing something new to the table, what do you bring new? Because it's simple, dude. You got the Bible, you've got science, you have the Torah, you have the Quran, and you have the Vedas, and that's it. That's all you've got to run on. So, why is it that why how do you come up with a new argument when everything is set right here for you? Now, I don't know as to whether or not you're a Christian or an atheist, and I believe it seemed like you're a Christian, and the only thing is that you can't really make any kind of new arguments here. It's set in stone here in the Bible. So how do you deviate from this to create new arguments? Are you going to read this whole book, reinterpret it, and then create new arguments based on your reinterpretation? That to me makes no logical sense, and in all honesty, I don't see the how your argument is valid at this point. It's completely illogical. I don't see how it is we can go read the Bible again, make up new arguments, because everything is set down here. It's either you believe it or don't. So, how are you going to make new arguments? Okay, uh, maybe you could start saying that, oh, everything in the Bible should be taken literally. Well, you can't make that argument, because then some of the things in the Bible, you know, it it depends on what you look at it like. Some people don't take everything literally. Some people do. And there's a downfall, and then there's an advantage to that. Because if you take it literally, then you create this idea, then people will come to it the idea, then what do you think about war? Because the Jews kill and stone and burn people to death in the Old Testament. Then if you don't take it literally, then it's like you're embracing evolution or some stuff like that. It's basically your own individual interpretation, which leads you to believe as to whether or not there is a deity. I go by the fact that over the course of 1,000 years, 40 different authors with 66 different books had the prophecy of a coming Messiah. And there was no way they could have collaborated. It was over an extended period of time. The prophecy actually came true. And there's no way to be able to try and plan that. There's no way all 40 of these authors could have known unless there was some kind of, I would call, divinity involved. So I don't see how we could be losing believers to atheism unless they really didn't understand what they believed in the first place. Because that's sometimes what happens. A lot of the time is what happens. So I kind of think that your whole argument here of bringing up new thinking of new, um, I guess, debating dialogue, I don't think is going to make any sense. Like, what are you going to bring new to the table when it's all set here? This is the playing field. It's like a chessboard. You going to add squares to the board? You going to add new pieces to the board? You can't. You have to think about it. Hmm. A little bit in shock here now. Alright. I hope you can look at this and maybe think this over.